Hello and welcome to the channel, fellow colorists. Jody here. Today's Sunday. I hope you're having a relaxing weekend. Grab a cup of tea and let's just have a little chat and discuss in today's video some plans for the rest of the year on what I'm going to be working on the channel and in my coloring journey. I've been working in the 2023 Creative Companion and so far it's been going good. I've got a book section. And I wanted to talk about how I'm approaching my books this year. Last year I had a section on books to touch, which were untouched books, and I had 10 books to touch. I've narrowed that down to 5 this year, and that's a more realistic goal. Then I have books to finish, and I have 6 books to finish, and we'll go over in detail all those books. And then I picked 4 illustrators to focus on. And the illustrators to focus on was an approach that Spicy Cat Colors YouTube channel uses. And Kathy has illustrators that she wants to focus on or that she maybe wants to do a certain number of pages in. And I really liked that approach. So I've kind of blended that approach in with my 10 books to finish. So I've got 6 books to finish and 4 illustrators to focus on, and that's my 10, and then the 5 books to touch. So let's go through all of them and we'll look at them and see how we're going to approach the year. So we'll start with looking at the books that are untouched that hashtag books to touch in 2023. I've got 5 listed. Some of those are from carry forward from last year, so obviously not all 10 books were touched last year. So we've got the top of the one is I still have Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. I have never colored a Kirby book. This is my first Kirby book. We'll see if I get through any of these pages. I'm hoping to. I do like, out of all his books, I think that the Fragile World is probably a book that I would color in the most. Not planning on buying any of his other books. While they are beautiful, they are not my style of work, artwork. So I will look forward to this. So cross your fingers, you will see that this year. I also have the Thomas Kincaid Studios coloring book, the Disney collection. Still have not gotten in this book. I really do want to jump in and get a page or 2 done. So this is definitely on my books to touch. The Watercolor with Me in the Forest, that is a new book that I just got for Christmas. And hang on, I'll grab it. Here we are. She has, Dana Fox has 3 books in the series, and I have 2 of them. On last year's list was Watercolor with Me in the Ocean, and I did touch that book. And I got this for Christmas from my son, and it's Watercolor in the Forest. And it's an instructional book that you actually do the work right in the book. It's watercolor paper. It tells you what colors to use, and there's some basic instructions and stuff. So I do enjoy learning more about watercolors. I do want to continue that journey, so I have listed this in my books to touch, and I definitely plan on getting to that. And July is watercolor month, so if I haven't touched it by July, definitely it'll be used in July. Book number 4 is one of my artist edition books. So I have 3 artist edition books by Johanna Basford. I just said that I want to touch one of them at least, and I did that in January as part of my Johanna in January. There is videos on how I completed this that I just posted in February here. So I have touched this book, and hopefully I do touch the other ones as well. They are super large, but they have wonderful paper in those books. So the last book is Flowerscape by Maggie Anteros, and this is a lovely book, and I just have not had the time. I'm not sure about the paper. It feels very, very smooth, but I have seen many people do beautiful pages from these books, so I'll just have to figure out which pencils to use. And I definitely I received this as a gift from my sister, so I definitely want to color in it, and definitely those are included in my plans for 2023. Now let's go over to the books to finish. So what I've done is my little chart actually has the quarters, so I'm going to check in at the end of quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 for all of these, and that's just mainly to keep myself on task and let everybody else know how I'm doing. So I've got 6 books, and we'll quickly look at those. I have Romantic Country The Second Tale by Aria, and I'll grab that. And actually I'll show you a sneak peek on a page I'm currently working on. So I'm currently working on the, it's like the Marrakesh Market kind of page. So that's actually out of the book right now because I'm working on it. I have been doing, I got back to this book in February here. January was pretty much dedicated just to Johanna Basford. So now I have gone back and I've actually done a buddy color with Poet Spice, double page in this book. So that also encouraged me to get back to this book. So I have completed 4 pages this month, or will have once I finish the market page. I had 19 pages to start, to finish at the start of the end of the year, or the January 1st. So look forward to completing this book. I had thought about that I would have it completed last year, but yeah, things just didn't work out. The next book that I am going to complete is the Aria Vale book, and that is the group color along book that we are doing. And even if the group isn't done, I will be done. So there was no group page this month. I did a page myself anyways. I had already previously done another page before the group had even started. So I have 5 pages left as of today, and at the beginning of the year I had 7. So I've completed 2 extra pages, and yeah, this book will be done. The paper in this book is Amazon printed paper, so it isn't a book I would have chosen to do myself, other than with this group color along with Pixie's project. So thanks to Pixie for hosting it, because it did get me selecting a book that I would not have selected otherwise. The other book is also a group color along. It's The Way Home. It's by Morgan O'Brien. It's the Grogu book, and at the start of the year I had 15 pages left, and currently I have 10. So I've clicking along quite well in this book. I want to have it finished, and I will have completed flip throughs of all the books once they're done, and there is a playlist on my channel for that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Grogu Mandalorian season 3 coming out March 1st here. So I'm spending a bit of time rewatching a few of those shows and doing some more coloring. So this will be probably finished a lot sooner than everybody else again in the group color along, but that's okay. The next 3 books, or 2 books, are quite ambitious. So they're on here to finish in 2023, but realistically it will be a challenge. And that is The Ink House by Rory Dobner. And let me grab that. At the start of the year, I had 43 pages left to do. So basically, I've just started this book. I've only done a handful of pages in it. So if you have The Ink House and would like to do a buddy color with me, feel free to email me at jicolorist@gmail.com, or tag me on Instagram and send me a DM on Instagram, and we can set something up, because this is a great book. I love it's a storybook, so it's not a traditional coloring book, but there is lots of people that have approached it as a coloring book, and that's what I'm doing. The paper's pretty good, and it's held up so far. I've seen lots of people do beautiful work in here, so I will hope to finish this in 2023. Another one that is probably the biggest challenge on my list here is The Mouse Guard by David Peterson. That book has 80 pages left. So it was on my 10 books to touch in 2022. I did touch it and I've started on it, but again, like I said, I have 80 pages left. So lots of opportunity. So if you have The Mouse Guard and would like to do a color along, or you would like to do a buddy color, give me a shout, contact me, and we will set something up. I'm more than happy to color along with other people in the same book. I think it's kind of fun to see how we all approach the same page but differently. So for sure, I got started on this last year, and this is the page we've done this year, and I did this as a buddy color with Poet Spice in January, and we did one other one as well. So I've gotten a couple of pages done, but I have a whole lot more left to do. I have 78 pages left, so lots of opportunity. If you want to see that on my channel as a separate series, maybe, let me know if that's something you would be interested in. And the last book is a book I started a couple of years ago, and it is Peter Rabbit coloring book by Beatrice Potter, and it is a storybook. It's a large size book. It's oversized pages, beautiful illustrations though, but it's got this story on one side and a picture of what's happening in the other one. The book itself was not bound very well. It's glue bound, and the pages are actually coming out a bit, so I'm probably going to have to disc bind it, but it's such a thin book that disc binding is I don't have discs that small, so I may see about doing something else, some other kind of binding, but I would like to finish it. I was using some water mediums and also polychromos in here, so I have all of those still. So I have 7 pages left. They are all large pages, so I would like to get that finished, and that's a kind of book that you can finish, and because it's a storybook, if I have grandchildren, I can pass it on to them. I think it would be neat. And I was interested in this kind of book after I completed Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I really like the idea of sharing my coloring with somebody else through a story. So those are my 6 books to finish. Some quite doable, some very ambitious. And I thought that was a nice challenge, so that everything on there wasn't a guaranteed knockoff, that I could, I like to push myself a little bit, so that should keep me pushed all year long. And the last section, to round out my 6 and 4 to make 10, is 4 illustrators I want to focus on. So those 4 illustrators are people that I actually basically just learned about 3 of them last year, and one obviously I've known for years. So the one I've known for years is Johanna Basford, and I have a number of her books, and I wanted to spend some time actually completing a bunch of pages. We did a great job in January doing that, so I'm pretty happy about that. How I've set this up is I've got the illustrator, I've got a numbered, so this is a little checkbox here, and I'm just checking off how many pages I complete. So I've got 15 across, and I've got 3 lines for each person. So that's 45 pages for each person, and that's just not how many books I actually want to, or pages I want to complete. It's just I thought a big enough size checkbox for them. So I've got a bunch of Lulu Mayo books. I have 4 books. I've got 2 right here. So I learned about Lulu Mayo last year. I had not had any of her books before. So now I own 4. So it's like, okay, if I own all these books, let's get coloring in them. So I'll give you a little sneak peek for February. And this is a page from The Million Llamas. And that's just adorable. So I would like to complete a bunch of Lulu Mayo pages from her books. I also have learned about Rita Berman last year in 2022. And I have the Land, Water, and then the Seasons compilation book. So I've got enough pages to keep me going for a while. And I love the size of the book. I have not disc bound any of them, nor have I done any of the Lulu Mayo. And that's because the size of the book is still manageable for me. I can lay it flat and I don't usually need to get right into the crease like the 10 by 10 books for Erie and Joanna Basford. So I haven't disc bound these yet, and I am still on the fence, so I'm not going to at this time. But love her illustrations. The paper is decent, not fabulous, but decent. So I have added Rita Berman as an illustrator to focus on. So the last illustrator to focus on is Maria Trollet. And last year I bought Botanicum. And then just in January here, I bought the Universum, which is a compilation book. And it is in Swedish. So this book has book pages from all her other books, and on the bottom of each page it tells you which book it's from. It also has quite a few pages from the Universum book, so they're solely in this book itself. So it's still a book worth getting, even if you owned her other books, if you wanted those exclusive Universum pages. So I don't have to buy all of her books now because I've got the compendium, as it were. And so, yeah, I want to spend some time. Beautiful paper, hardback, lovely illustrations. So those are looking forward to spending time with Maria Trollet in 2023. So that's how it's all set up. I've got little check boxes here. I've got hand-drawn quarters here. So we'll just be checking off how I'm doing, and I'll do an update quarterly for you. But those are my plans. Of course, I've got tons of other books and tons of other projects that I'll be doing on the meantime and in between those pages. But those are the books that you should see at least one or two every month, so that I'm keeping on top of my items that I want to complete. I am kind of goal orientated, so it is nice to have these kind of project books to work on, so that I kind of feel like I've got, something to do. So those are my plans for 2023. I just wanted to share them with you and let you know the books that I'm planning on spending time in and working on. And I wondered if you are working on a project book, or do you have a certain number of books that you want to complete or want to spend time in? I'd love to see and read about those in the comments below. And if you have any of the books that I have listed and discussed in this video, like I said, drop me a note. I would love to buddy color with my fellow colorists. It's a great way to color something together. I'm happy to show your completed page alongside mine on my monthly completed pages video. And I guess that's it. I just wanted to update you and kind of touch base. I hope you're having a wonderful creative week. Have a great Sunday afternoon. And until Wednesday, take care. Happy coloring.